I don't know what happened. I think the Wi-Fi cut out, but I was just saying, we were with Imogen, sorry, just stepping over the teeny one. We were with Imogen. The internet's still saying it's not brilliant, but we'll carry on regardless. So, Imogen, morning!
Hello!
Let me just rescue the teeny one. Do you want to hold it?
Yeah, we've got loads of hazards in my kitchen for small people.
Okay, right, I'll hold her and then fall down any stairs. Okay, so morning Imogen.
Hello.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about Sugar Buttons Cakes, how long you've been doing?
I'm assuming the Wi-Fi's still working. So I've been running Sugar Buttons Cakes since 2012, so coming up for 6 years. I used to be head of art at high school, and I was doing this as a part-time thing. And I left my job as a teacher 2.5 years ago. So in 2015, I left to just do this.
Oh, my video is always the best when I have the kids in. Sorry.
Oh, so funny.
Brilliant. So, what can you tell us about the cake you're making at the moment?
Well, I've got a couple of cakes on at the moment. I'm also preparing for a hen party, so I've got all sorts on. This is why the kitchen looks like a bar.
This is the kitchen of a baker, everyone.
Just one that's for a children's party, which I will be working on later on today, but I'm also working on bowling pins, and they're going to be like a ball crashing into them and sort of sending the pins flying. So
if you haven't seen Imogen's Facebook or at maybe take that away. Have a little look at her Facebook.
Smaller one.
Have a little look at her Facebook or her website. Her cakes are seriously amazing, like not your standard cake at all. So what are you doing with this wooden?
Yeah, so because it's a bowling alley, I'm going to do a wood effect on the top, and then I'm going to do a wood effect on the base as well, just to give it something interesting to look at.
So how have you made it look woody so far?
Well, so far I've just marbled it using a bit of chocolate fondant and some normal white fondant, and you just roll it and roll it and roll it.
So you can see, this is why I'm having to keep an eye on the teeny one, because look, there's like a grate and there's some stairs that we can fall down, so we'll just stop. Yes, Imogen doesn't have a toddler.
Baby cakes all around the place. Yeah.
Okay, so chocolate fondant.
Yeah, chocolate fondant mixed in with white fondant and then rolled and rolled and rolled, and this gives you a base really. So,
okay.
So
how long did it take you before you realised you were actually really good at cake stuff? Because my icing, you know, I can pipe stuff, but it's not very, very good.
Well, I used to make cakes all my life. When I was a child, I was the one in the family who made the cakes for when it was anyone's birthday, granny, mum, everyone. So I always made cakes, and then I started making like novelty cakes. When I look back on them, they're really mega lumpy, but because I didn't know how to do things properly, I just learned myself. But I think because I'm an art background, I've done art all my life.
You have that creative
side.
I
used to work at a TV company. I used to make TV sets and props, so everything I made out of wood and paper and fabric, I now just make out of cake and icing and chocolate. So
all transferable
a lot
skills.
Of it, a lot of it's what I used to do as a set designer or as a teacher, but now I just do it with food instead of paper.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah, that's sort of it all links in perfectly with everything I did.
So what's next?
Do you want to see a little bit of this?
Yeah,
so firstly I'm going to mark it out because I want to give the boards a bit of pattern. You won't see all of the board, to be honest, but it's nice to have. If you have a finished board, it just makes the cake look so much more professional.
Yes.
So,
and that's what you're going for, isn't it, really? You don't want someone to get it and think it looks like
you don't want it on a foil board or something, because that just wouldn't be right. Normally,
no, because that's not what I do.
It's fine if you're not a professional.
Yes,
if you are a professional, you absolutely have to cover your boards. Ordinarily, if I was doing a wood grain, I'd do quite thick planks, but because this is based on a bowling alley, they have quite thin little, strips. So, because I've got a quilting ruler here, I can actually measure them. I wouldn't normally do it quite so
handy
perfectly.
tip. Just use a quilting ruler. Who would have thought?
Yeah, this one has never been used for quilting because I don't do that.
No.
But it's perfect for marking out cake stuff.
Oh, Hazel, you're making this so tricky. Maybe if I set it up here, then I don't.
Yeah, that's it. That can be seen.
Straight for the stairs. Straight for the.
Yeah. So basically, I'm just going to add some lines. Although now I've just managed to shift my ruler slightly and ruin that one, but there we go.
Right, we won't go near it with droopy pear either.
Yeah, a nice sticky pear flavour.
Sticky, yeah, just a bit
Sticky
drops.
pear and chocolate. Actually, that
Yeah.
would be quite a good flavour if there was a cake inside. Yeah.
So when did you take the leap into the professional cake making?
Registered with the council, got my hygiene certificates and did all that.
Was that
sort
the
of
scariest
work.
bit, just taking a leap that you were going to
Yeah,
do?
knowing that it was definitely professional. When I was just making them for friends and family, it was basically became a bit more official. Let's grab some water.
Right, so while Imogen's just grabbing that, let me take you to have a look, because she's setting up for, was it a wedding fair you're setting up for?
Yes, as well.
A couple of her cakes, so look at this. Isn't that just amazing? Like, I can barely make, I don't even know how to make a cake smooth. I think I need you to show me how to make a smooth cake. And then for any Stranger Things fans, look at that. That's Elle on the Stranger Things cake. And I can show you quickly this stuff, but not for very long, because that's all going to be on her wedding fair. Look at this. If anyone saw my video with Becky Jago, my other kid was causing me problems. She was the highlight of my video with the ITV presenter. And now this one.
That was good.
Pick up the pear off your floor. I'm sorry. Yes, so this is the kitchen of a cake baker. All the stuff, and she makes the fake cakes for the wedding fairs and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, they're made out of polystyrene.
Polystyrene on the inside, but they're iced exactly the same as normal cake. So the only bit everything else is edible. So
There we go. See a little and on your floor.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, what do you think you're asked to make?
I'm trying to think. I suppose just wedding cakes are the more expensive ones. A lot of the most expensive ones, if they were a real cake, would be like the fully hand-painted ones. But I don't get asked to make those often enough. That's what I'd love to be doing. But people tend to go for slightly more simple designs. So the really funky, over-the-top ones, like the Stranger Things ones, are literally just because I had a day, and I thought I really want to film myself making something. Yeah. So the Stranger Things one is on YouTube, and it's got every single detail. It took me about 8 hours to paint it all, and it's only painted on one side. My plan is to put season 2 on the back, and then I'll do another one for season 3. Okay. But at the moment, there's an awful lot. I don't generally have a huge amount of time to do stuff for myself, and that was one example, which was really nice. So I suppose in terms of expense, it's more the time. I think people often think that
they can
cakes
put
are
together,
expensive.
with eggs and flour. How
It's just
expensive
eggs
can it
and
be?
flour and sugar. How expensive can that be? Well, actually, even that bit, when you're talking big cakes, there's quite a lot in them. But it's things like you have to have supports, you've got to have the boards, the boxes, and then all the other stuff. And with wedding cakes, if I'm covering a wedding cake, I don't use fondant you just buy from Tesco's. The fondant I use costs about £50 for. But it means that you get the perfect sharp edges, you can get it really, really neat, and it's worth every penny.
Yes.
But that's the kind of thing, I think people just look at something in Tesco's and think, it's only like £2 for some fondant. But
or think that I can do that, and then, like me, with the reality when it hits that I actually...
Especially the smoothing. I mean, the smoothing process, it is the bit that I hate the painting, and it's lovely decorating. But to get to that stage, you have to stack all the cakes, fill them, cover them in ganache, scrape them and carry on and add the fondant, which then has to be smoothed and smoothed and smoothed. So the process just to get, when someone says to me, I just want a plain white cake, and I just, but it does take hours because you have to get it so perfect. I mean, you don't have to, but
This is your business.
Exactly. So, I've got to the point now, I know that a lot of people can't afford my celebration cakes, but I have to just accept that because this is my job now. I'm not doing it if I worked in a supermarket to make a basic celebration cake. So, it's one of those things. Swings and roundabouts.
Yes, so I was going to say, because your celebration cake start from £80, which on paper sounds like a lot of money, but you're not paying for a supermarket cake, are you?
Exactly.
You're paying for your time and all the effort that you're putting in.
Yeah.
And the time that you're spending talking with a 1-year-old
toddler
dribbling pear. We will clean your floor,
It's fine. Yeah, no, I think a lot of people, when people ask me for quotes and I say, oh, my basic celebration cakes start at £80, and occasionally I have people go, oh, I totally understand that, but I can't afford it, completely fine. I do also get a lot of people go, oh my God, that's so expensive. And I just think, okay, well, if you buy one from Tesco's, it'll be this thin.
Yes.
When you take it out of the big box that's got dusty, it's not a nice cake, and it's also got like just mass-produced decorations.
It's probably got loads of artificial.
Yeah, precisely. They're going to last forever. Those things. Oh no! You got the last one there.
Right, we might have to finish. Too much. So, just quickly, then, what are you doing with the?
I am just painting now. I'll try and hold it up to that. There we go. So I'm using, basically, I wouldn't normally paint this way, but I'm adding a bit of brown food colouring in some of the lines, and I'll add on to it later. And then with a thicker brush and some yellow food colouring, I'm blending in a bit of yellow over the top, because this one at the moment, I don't think it's showing up colour-wise on here yet. A bowling alley is much less brown, it's more sort of a yellowy blonde wood, so I'm going to need to sort of lighten this up as I go over the top of it. No, I don't know, it's kind of sort of showing up.
Does it stay shiny, or does it?
No, it won't do, but I've got some stuff called I think it's called Shell and Shine, by an amazing cake inventor, Dawn Butler, and it's like an edible spray varnish which you can spray onto boards and it goes glossy.
Bowling alleys are really shiny, aren't they? That's why everyone falls over.
Yeah, so it's going to have its gloss on it, although I do have to take that outside to spray it because it covers everything.
Oh yeah.
And it's really a nightmare to clean off. But yes, so this will give the effect of wood, and I can paint little, if I wanted to paint things like knots and grains, I could do, but you won't get that on a bowling alley so much. Yeah.
Right, well, thanks Imogen.
Right.
I'm going to take some photos and do a little bit of a... I'll post a video so you can catch up on the teeny one's destruction now everywhere. But thanks for chatting to us.
That's all right.
And look out on the website for cakes. And if you haven't already, have a look at her website, which is www.co.uk. And have a look at her Facebook page, because her cakes honestly are super amazing. So thank you, Imogen, and we'll see everyone. I'm sure she's not disappearing down a hole. I'll leave you with. Is it based on a
agates? You know, like an agate slice. You know, you get like a slice of it's like a
mineral. Yes,
yeah.
Look at that. Amazing. Right, thank you. Bye, everybody.